We are at the Association for Ethnic Studies 46th Annual Conference in Richmond, Virginia.
For the people who couldn't be here, what you are missing is an opportunity in this organization for people of diverse ethnicities to come together and explore not only what is different among them, but also what is common.
What drew me into the theme was primarily the first part, the ongoing struggle, and that the work that we do as scholars, as community activists, as leaders, as students, at every level that I just mentioned, there's going to be a struggle, a push for having people see our humanity.
I think a conference like this is important because you have many diverse people that are doing research in all types of areas. And so when we all come together, we're able to see who's working on what and how your ideas can actually come together to advance knowledge on particular subjects.
What drew me to the conference was the scholarship and research that was being presented, as well as to the theme of the conference about the ongoing struggle. Neoliberalism, white supremacy, and settler colonialism really drew me in. It's particular too because I was thinking about my research that I was doing.
I think it's important to have this discussion on white nationalism in our current presidential administration, but also to continue this conversation throughout times, even when we aren't as directly being oppressed.
One of the things that resonated with me most was being able to hear from folks doing incredible work in areas of academia and politics and street activism, folks that I'd never met, sort of understanding just how much of a fight for social justice is going on.
I think this conference is different than other conferences in a variety of ways. I think most importantly, the familial feel, that the openness, the closeness, and there's a difference when you can actually see the people and feel the people's emotion.
I feel great. I feel intellectually challenged. I feel inspired to go out and be an advocate. Everything that we're discussing is coming from a place of history that I can take into the future.
One of the things that I'm taking away from this conference is that this organization of ethnic studies is one in which groups are ready, willing, and able to listen to each other.
This organization is 46 years old. It was developed in order to have people understand the diversity of this nation and what has happened because of the people who have been colonized, who now live in the diaspora all over the world, who are people of color.
So one of the gems for me was hearing Christy Coleman speak. One, she's such a dynamic and fantastic presenter, but also for me it kind of added to my own educational knowledge about the Civil War Museum, and it specifically helped me contextualize it here in Richmond, understanding that yes, like there is the quote-unquote popular symbol of the Confederate flag, but there's also there's so many more symbols for the Confederate flag.
Whatever knowledge that you learn from this space, that you should be using it to transform the communities from which you came. That's one of the biggest things, is to transform or to transmit the knowledge that you're learning. Always be transmitting it, be it with your parents or your family, the students that you work with, the community leaders that you might engage with. Always be passing on new knowledge.
One of the biggest things that I feel that someone could take away from this conference is it gives you a space to talk about what's not cool to talk about in everyday society. It's unique in its own right because it gives us as scholars to intelligently talk about race, equity, and equality.
I think this conference is very necessary in that scholarly spaces particularly are oftentimes very white spaces. And so the Association for Ethnic Studies provides a space for scholars to critically investigate the experiences of not only people of color, but just marginalized identities. It's necessary to bring those into the academy and center them in a way that allows for the world to understand who these people are, or how we understand the world around us.
Mental health is a thing that doesn't get talked about enough, especially mental health in the Black community.
Some of the under-marginalized communities outside of the African-American community that we don't talk about. So the LGBTQ community of our Native brothers and sisters, but also that Asian American community as well.
It is vital so that the voices of traumatized communities that don't normally have a platform.
We have more and more students of color being invested in the academy and becoming scholar activists and things of that nature. So they need guidance, they need mentorships, and just they need to see people who are doing the work that they aspire to do.